Hello viewers, welcome to EduTube. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to find lowest common multiples of a set of numbers. Now, lowest common multiples, which is shortly called LCM, it could also be called least common multiple. So to find least common multiples of a set of numbers, first of all, it is important that we understand what are multiples. Now, multiples could be defined as numbers that can be divided by other numbers without a remainder. They are numbers that can be divided by other numbers without a remainder. But in simple language, I could say that multiples are numbers that you get when you multiply a number by any other series of numbers. When you hear about multiples, basically just think about multiplication. So let's jump straight to our first example. So here we have two sets of examples. We are finding LCM, lowest common multiple of 8 and 12, and we're also finding LCM, lowest common multiple of 8, 9, and 15. Now, to find the least common multiples of this set of numbers, we can use two methods to do that. And the first method, we are using a method called multiples list method. As the name implies, it basically means we are going to list out the multiples of the numbers that we want to find the LCM. So, in the first example, we have 8. So, we are going to list multiples of 8, and then we are going to list multiples of 12. Now, as I said, multiples, you should think of multiplication when you hear about multiples. So, multiples are numbers that you get when you multiply a number by other series of numbers. Now, in this case, to list multiples of 8, you just basically think of multiplication table 8. For example, the first multiple of 8 is 8 itself, because 8 times 1 is 8. And then the next multiple of 8 is 16, because 8 times 2 is 16. So 8 times 3 is 24. And then 8 times 4 is 32. Now, another way you could find the list of your multiples is by skip counting in that number. What do I mean by skip counting? Just basically repeatedly add the numbers to get your list of multiples. For example, 8, then 8 plus 8, 16, then 16 plus 8, 24, then 24 plus 8, 32, and 32 plus 8, that will give me 40, and then 40 plus 8, that will give me 48, and then 48 plus 8, that will give me 56, and then 56 plus 8, that will give me 64, and then 64 plus 8, that will give me 72, and then 72 plus 8, that will give me 80. So these are the first 10 multiples of 8. Then for 12, so as we said, 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 3 will give me 36, 12 times 4 will give me 48, and 12 times 5 will give me 60, and 12 times 6 give me 72, and then 12 times 7 will give me 84, and then 12 times 8 will give me 96, and then 12 times 9 will give me 108, and then 12 times 10 will give me 120. So I'm going to stop here. So you could see, so we've listed out the multiples of 12 using the multiplication table, which also, as I said, you could use a repeated addition. 12 plus 12, 24, 24 plus 12, 36, 36 plus 12, 48, 48 plus 12 will give me 60, 60 plus 12 will give me 72, 72 plus 12 will give me 84, 84 plus 12 will give me 96, 96 plus 12 will give me 108, 108 plus 12 will give me 120. So either way, you could use your multiplication table or you could use a step count to find your multiples. Now that I've listed out the multiples of 8 and 12, now because we are looking for LCM, lowest common multiples or least common multiples, so we are going to identify the common multiples, which is CM, the common multiples. So let's look for the common multiples. So I have 24 in 12 and I have 24 in 8. So I'm going to circle them out. So the first common multiple I have is 24. And then I have 48, 48. So I have 48 for both 8 and 12 as their common multiple. So I'm going to write 48. And then I have 72 for both numbers. So 72 is also a common multiple of both numbers. So I'm going to write 72. And then because I stop at 10, the I stopped at 10, so that means the common multiples we have so far at this point that I stop is 24, 48, 72. Now our goal is to find the LCM, the least common multiples or the lowest common multiple. So among this common multiple, of course, it is obvious that the lowest among them is 24. So our LCM is 24. Now the other method which we can use to find the LCM of number is called prime factorization method, which we are going to use to solve the second example. Now using prime factorization method, it basically means you are going to use prime numbers to divide a set of numbers until we get 1. So 8, 9 and 15 are the numbers. So prime factorization method, factorization or factor is a number that can divide other number without a remainder. So prime factor is a prime number that can divide other numbers without a remainder. So the lowest prime number we can always use is 2. So 2 is a prime factor of 8, but it's not a prime factor of 9 and 15, but then we are still going to use it. So 2 in 8, that will give me 4. Now I crossed out 8 because 2 can divide 4. Now 2 cannot divide 9. 2 is not a factor of 9. So I'm going to drop down the 9. That means repeat the 9 because 2 does not divide it. And you could see I didn't cross it. Then 2 cannot divide 15, so I'm going to repeat 15 as well. So because of this 4 here, I can still use 2. So 2 in 4, I'm going to have 2. But 2 cannot divide 9 like we said before, so I'll bring down my 9. 2 cannot divide 15, I bring down my 15. I still have 2 here, so I'll make sure I divide with 2, which is a prime factor, until there is nothing left to be divided by 2. So 2 in 2, that will give me what? 1. And then I'll still bring down my 9 and still bring down my 15. Now 9 and 15 has been untouched because 2 cannot divide them. Now that we have divided this 8 up to 1, then now let's start considering 9 and 15. So what prime number can divide 9 and 15? Certainly after 2, another prime number is 3. So 3 can divide 9 and 15. So I'm going to use 3. So 3 in 1 will give us 1, and 3 in 9 will give us 3, and 3 in 15 will give us what? 5. Now because we still have 3 here, so I'm still going to use 3 as a prime factor. So 3 in 1, 1, 3 in 3, that will give me 1, and then 3 cannot divide 5, so I'm just going to bring down the what? 5. So now that we have 5 left alone, 5 is a prime number, so the only number that can divide it is 5 itself. So remember, we are using prime factors. These are prime factors. So we're using prime factors to divide those numbers. So 5 in 1 is 1. In 1 is 1, and then in 5 itself is 1. So we have basically broken down the numbers until we get 1. So all these prime factors now will be listed out to find our LCM. So our LCM is equals to, we have 2 times 2 times 2 in 3 places, 2 times 2 times 2 in 3 places, then times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, and then times 5, then times 5. Now it is advisable to raise the power of the repeated numbers to express them as index. So that will be 2 raised to power 3 times, because 2 is in 3 places, times 3 raised to power 2, then times 5. Now 2 raised to power 3 will give us 8, because 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. And then 3 raised to power 2 will give us 9, because 3 times 3 is 9, then times 5. Now to multiply this number, we know that 8 times 9 is 72. Then 72 times 5, we will need to find out 72 times 5. 5 times 2 will give us 10, 0 carry up 1, and then 5 times 7 will give us 35. 35 plus 1, that will give us 36. So that means that 8 times 9, 72, 72 times 5 is 360. So the LCM, the lowest common multiple of 8, 9, and 15 is 360. If you are new to this channel, please kindly click on the subscription button below this video to get notified of my academic lessons like this. And if you are a returning subscriber, we say a big thank you for your love and support always. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next lesson.